So let's do the second example, example 1b for the 9C notes. So again, we're using the quadratic formula. So A is 3, B is 10, and C is 2. So filling into our formula, x is equal to the opposite of b, so that's going to be a negative 10, plus or not minus the square root of b squared, so 10 times 10 is 100, minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is 2, all over 2 times a, so 2 times 3. So simplifying, x is equal to negative 10 plus or minus the square root of. So remember that we must do the multiplication first. So that's 12 times 2 is 24. So I'm going to have 100 minus 24 all over 6. X is equal to negative 10 plus or minus the square root of. I want to subtract that, so that's going to give me 76 all over, not that part of it, 6. And now we realize that we cannot simplify the square root of 76. So we'll just stop. And we've actually got two answers. We got the answer that x is equal to negative 10 plus the square root of 76 over 6. And we also have that x is equal to negative 10 minus the square root of 76 over 6. And we can put this into our calculators to come up with exact answers for that. Example C, we'll go through. We've got A is 3, B is negative 2, and C is 2. And using the quadratic formula, we get x is equal to the opposite of b, so that's positive 2, plus or minus the square root of b squared. So I'm going to square this, negative 2 times negative 2. That's going to give me positive 4, plus or minus the square root of 4 times, plus or minus square root of 4, plus or minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is, I'm sorry, this is just a big minus. Minus, so 2 plus or minus the square root of 4, minus 4 times 3 times 2, all over 2 times a, which is 3. So this is going to give me x is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 subtract 12 times 2 is 24 all over 6. So x is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of a negative 20 over 6. And we cannot take the square root of a negative 20, so there's going to be no real solutions for that problem. For example, D, this time you notice it's not in that standard form, so I'm going to need to add the 8x to both sides, and I need to put it in the right spot. So this is going to be x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. So for this problem, we'll have that a is equal to 1, b is 8, and c is 16. So quadratic formula, x is equal to the opposite of b, so negative 8 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so it's going to be 8 times 8, which is 64, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 16, all over 2 times 1. So x is equal to negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus, and when I multiply this out, I get 64 over 2. So x is equal to negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 0 over 2. And the square root of 0 is 0. So negative 8 plus 0 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 0 is also negative 8. So I am just coming up both with the plus and the minus with the same result. X is equal to negative 8 over 2. So x is equal to negative 4. this time there is only one solution for it. It actually kind of happens twice, once with a plus and once with a minus, but it's negative, just x is -4.